This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Welcome to the 100th episode of Deluxe Edition. I am your host, Casey Shearer. Joining me, as always, the man, the myth, the legend, L. Ray Sexton.
What's going on, Casey?
Not too much, buddy. This is our 100th episode celebration. Yay!
Yes, sir. Congratulations to you.
Thank you, buddy. Yeah, you've been a big part of it, man.
Yeah, I've been on like 4 episodes now, It's been a lot of fun, but all the credits goes to you because you've been here for all 100, I believe.
I missed one.
There was one. Yeah.
There was one I missed, yes. Do we have to do this next week? This is technically only my 99th episode?
No. Deluxe Edition is on its 100th. So this counts.
All right. Okay. All right. I have something to show you and everyone else here. Some of our previous guests have put together a little something for us. So let's take 5 minutes out of the show here since it is our 100th episode and check this out.
Nice.
I just wanted to congratulate you, Deluxe Edition. You guys rock on your 100th episode. I'd be drinking champagne right now, but I don't have any in the house. So later I'm going to go and drink a drink to you. I want to say thank you for having me on your show. Thank you for 100 episodes for the public, but I could come back at any point in time for the next 100. Thanks, guys, so much, and many congratulations.
Hey, everybody, John Schneider here. I wanted to say congratulations to Deluxe Edition for making it to your 100th podcast. Way to go. Way to go. Way to go.
Hey, Greg here, Gregory Scott Cummins. I want to give a huge shout out to Casey and Ray at Deluxe Edition for coming up on their 100th episode and counting. These guys are amazing. They're very funny. They're extremely talented, and it's extremely entertaining. You got to watch. Congratulations, guys. So everybody out there, check them out. Oh, if you don't, I'm going to find you, and I'm going to kill you. I'm serious.
Hi, this is Ed Begley. Happy 100th episode for Deluxe Edition. I've been on before, and I'm going to be on again. Great show. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Hello. It's Michael Campion. Hope you guys are going out and celebrating your 100th episode. That's awesome. I remember when I had a podcast, I couldn't make it past episode 5. So keep doing the good stuff. Maybe I'll come on again. That'd be awesome. See you guys.
What's going on, everybody? This is JD Slacker, the author of Darling, You're Not Alone. And I just wanted to wish my friends over at the Deluxe Edition podcast a huge congratulations on their 100th episode. You guys are amazing. I love being on your show, and I really cannot wait to come back. But just only sending you guys the best wishes, love, and support, and can't wait to see more episodes soon.
What is going on? Casey and Ray. It's Peter Anthony from Peter Anthony Productions. Just want to say congratulations on your 100th episode. It's amazing. I just started my little podcast, and I can't imagine being at 100 episodes. Not only that, but the channel, how many people you support, how many successful podcasts you guys have under you. So just want to say congratulations so much again for hitting 100 episodes. Hopefully you'll have me back on soon. All right? Congrats again.
Hey there, Casey. From one centenarian to another, I tip my hat to you. Congratulations on your 100th episode. Here's to you guys.
Hey, Casey, how you doing? That's Larry Hankin. Yeah, I just got your message about you doing the 100th episode of Deluxe Edition. That's really terrific. It's great. Unfortunately, I don't have time to send you anything, congratulations or whatever. So I'm just sending you this to tell you that I can't fit you in. So I'll catch you on number 200 of Deluxe Edition, okay? So, but thanks for thinking of me, and we'll talk later. I just can't fit it in right now. So I'm sending you this to let you know. Just a heads up. Okay. I'll see you at number 200. Bye.
Hey, it's Dave from IAPradio.com. Congratulations on your 100th episode. That's quite a process right there. 100 whole episodes. Woo! Congratulations, guys.
Hey, this is Marcus Buff Bagwell, and I wanted to say congratulations to Deluxe Edition on their 100th episode. Way to go, guys. Go get them. Remember, I'm Buff, but you're the stuff.
Here we are, Allentown, Pennsylvania, 1313 Linden, where it all began. 2 decades ago, in fact, over 2 decades ago, the greatest tag team in professional wrestling was born. And the Beast. Love Bug, Martial Law, Slim Trim 185, every woman's fantasy, every criminal's nightmare. Tell them, Big Daddy.
From here, we've gone from Maine to Mexico, from Washington to Key West. We've held tag team titles all over the United States. And all of that pales in comparison to Casey and Ray. 100 episodes of Deluxe Edition.
Deluxe Edition, Casey and Ray, one of the better podcasts around.
Not the best, one of the better.
One of the better. And you know how I know that?
How do you know?
Exactly.
How awesome was that, man?
That's amazing.
Pretty cool, right?
That is awesome. I just want to take a minute here to thank everyone who took time out of their day to film something and send it to us. And for you for putting that whole thing together. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was really cool and very special. I got goosebumps watching it here again. I hid a lot of those from Ray, so he only maybe saw 1 or 2 of those. So yeah, that was really cool for everyone to do that. We appreciate it and thank you again. And here's to another 100, Ray.
Yeah, okay, let's do 3.
Yeah, here's to it. Yeah. Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Now for the house cleaning.
Yep.
Got to get right back into business.
Just keep rolling.
We are a part of the Deluxe Edition Network. You can find all of the other great shows over at deluxeeditionnetwork.com, like the podcast of the month, Bev's Video Kingdom. Great friends of mine out in California. And make sure you vote for them or us or any of the other podcasts in the Denny Awards, Deluxe Edition network.com/the Denny's. We are also over on Instagram and Twitter at Deluxe Edition Pod. You can support the show by going to patreon.com/Deluxe Edition Pod. And what will they get over on Patreon, Ray?
They get the unedited version of every podcast we record. That means you get the pregame, you get the postgame, you get the fuck ups in between. And you get it right away. You don't have to wait a week.
Yep, immediately. And you can find all of our previous shows over at deluxeedition.show. And if you'd like to support the show a little more, go to whatamaneuver.net/collection/deluxe-edition and get a couple t-shirts over there. And we are also sponsored by GetSlicks.com. You can go over there and grab a hat like Ray has right there, or a winter hat. It's still cold in a lot of parts of the world. Get
Springtime, baby.
a knit hat, t-shirt, hoodie, something like that. And Ray, we also have a new sponsor, Sunday Scaries. Go over to sundayscaries.com and use promo code deluxe15 and get yourself a 15% discount. sundayscaries.com. We all get nervous before things. 2 of these will do the trick. So sundayscaries.com, use promo code deluxe15 at checkout for 15% off of your entire order. And Ray, where can people find you, bud?
I am the 10 Cent Bear Night podcast. You can find me on Spotify exclusively. I think I have like 1 or 2 episodes over there. It's pretty good. It's a lot to listen to. You know, it's like 10 minutes each. No, I got more than that. But you can also come over to Facebook and Instagram and hang out with me there. Leave comments, good, bad, ugly. I don't care. Just come hang out because I get credit for the comment, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah, go check out Ray. And don't forget to vote for your favorite podcast over on deluxeeditionnetwork.com/the Denny's. And you can vote every day. So be sure to do that.
Multiple times.
Oh, yeah. You can do
so
that
if
too.
you like Deluxe Edition and you'd like to help us win the belt, you know, keep it here. Go to work tomorrow and just vote over and over and over until your boss goes, "What are you doing?" And you look them dead in the eye and you say, "I'm voting on the Denny's," and you're going to sit down next to me and you're going to do it too. So let's keep the belt home. Let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's keep it home. I want to send it to Ray so Ray can scratch his name into it. All right. Here's our interview with the great Scott Schwartz. All right, brother. So, hey, before we get into the stuff that we want to talk to you about, any updates on Mr. Lawler lately?
He's doing fine. Doing
Great.
fantastic. I talked to him last week and talked to him again next couple of days, but he's out and about and shopping and going to Hooters and he's going to be fine. Although I don't think he's going to make Mania this year. It's being only a couple weeks away.
Yeah.
And it being California, because that's for him. It's a non-day 4 or 5 day gig.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think he's going to be out here, which, I miss seeing him. So I would have loved to have seen him out here, but I'll end up just going to Memphis or, whatever the case may be, but 2 thumbs up. He's going to be all right.
Great. Are you gonna be at Mania this year?
No.
No.
It's just not the same product. I don't have, I don't have the love for the characters. I'm not saying it's bad product. It's just not what I love. Not the way that it. I watch it a little bit here and there. It's like,
Well, I do want to talk wrestling with you a little bit. I saw you on the Mickey James podcast. The reason
Victorious, yeah.
Yeah. The reason that we're having you here is you were on our very first episode, and this is our 100th episode. So it thought it would be very fitting to have you back again. And we did talk a little wrestling the first time that we had you on. So I know that you used to pick guys up at the airport and things like that back in the 80s, and run a little ring crew. But you mentioned on that podcast with Mickey that you were basically treated the same way that she was when you were sent packing. What did you mean by that? Did they ship you a box?
No. I when I stopped working for them, because I was moving. I'd left New Jersey and came to LA. Oh God, I was at Mania and everything was fine. This was in Florida at the Orlando one, and I guess I rubbed Carano the wrong way. Just in something I said or whatever it was. And we were at the bar after the Hall of Fame, and I guess I just said something wrong. I rubbed him the wrong way, whatever. And I went to Raw, and long story short, I got there and I was escorted in, I sent a text message, hey, I'm here, come, whatever. And I would go and I get my pass and all that stuff. And about a half an hour later, security guy comes over and he's like, what are you doing here? And I said, well, I'm visiting, the McMahon family has always said I can come and, be a part of the events and whatever. And he's like, well, times change. And I got escorted from the building. And it was very, very strange in what happened and how it happened. And I was up in Connecticut a couple of weeks later, and I was going to see Howard Finkel. And he's like, he called me up. Literally, I'm around the corner from the building. And I'm like, what's up? I said, a couple minutes away. I'll be there. No, you can't come. There's a lot of heat. A lot of heat on you. Heat from what? So as it was explained to me by the security guy, actually first, when I was getting my pass, I had a magazine in my hand. And somebody told him I was in the back getting autographs on my magazine. And I said, well, that would be great. Unfortunately, though, the magazine I left in the office, it was from 1963. Buddy Rogers on the cover. It was a gift for Triple H, for Paul. Be getting autographs on an old magazine? No, I don't think so. Then I was told. Then he said to me, well, somebody said that you snuck in the building. Oh, how did I sneak in the building if I have a pass?
Right.
Did I sneak into the, into the office and find the pass where they were? I didn't, whatever. It was a bunch of BS that Carano had made up to have me ixnayed. I done nothing, I was told that during the weekend, I was standing with Mark Henry, and he was playing with my little doggy, and had to go to a little boy's room. Well, if you went down the hallway, the door right before the little boy room was the goodie bag room. Somebody said I went into the goodie bag room. No, I went down the hallway to go to the bathroom.
Well, like thinking that you were stealing stuff? What the hell?
Of course, there's somebody there.
Yeah.
There's somebody at the door, and you have to have, credentials to walk in and all that. It was a bunch of BS, but it was all Carano's doing.
That sucks, man.
Yeah. So I haven't gone to an event since then,
I wouldn't. Fuck them. I wouldn't. Yeah.
Well, listen, they didn't do it. One guy did it. And
but still, I mean, it makes you it makes you look bad because that guy's saying that you did shit that you didn't do.
Exactly.
That sucks, man. How about AEW? Have you been watching? Have you caught on to any AEW?
I've tried. I mean, the guys are trying. In order for me to really want to watch something, I've got to love something about it. And I'm just not there with the characters yet. Sure. I mean, again, I'm not saying it's not a good product. I've just got to be invested in it.
Sure.
Sometimes I watch it once in a while, whatever. The announcer Justin and I have been friends for forever. Some that are over there, and it's just like maybe someday, just I'll watch the network, I'll watch the old stuff, and I'll enjoy the guys that I've always enjoyed.
Sure. Yeah, the network, the WWE network, there's so much good stuff on there. Like I know that you were a WWF kid growing up, so was I. So now, like, to be able to go back and watch all the old Dusty Rhodes stuff that's on the network, like from the WCW days, like, and the Ric Flair from the NWA, that stuff's awesome. I love going back and watching that stuff.
I grew up in central New Jersey, so I had WWF. That's all I had. I guess I had TBS, so I could have watched CW or but it was like, I'll give you an example. Bischoff. Okay. I had always seen him as just a overblown child with a real attitude. And, you know, I'm like, who is this guy? Because I didn't know who he was. I didn't know anything he, you know, and, you know, when I first met him, you know, on the set of Hulk Hogan's Celebrity Championship Wrestling, you know, he was just an arrogant human being, you know, who I had zero respect for because I knew nothing really about him.
Sure.
He was just a putz, basically. And then in the years, then I got to know all the stuff and what he created and co-created and how he made it all happen, and gave me a lot more respect for him. So then, you know, seeing him again and again over the years, you know, we've had chats and this and that, you know, and we've had our own discussions about each other, you know. I thought you were an asshole. I thought you this. And I said, well, you know, listen, what do you think I thought of you? You know, whatever. But to find, you know, good common ground, and, you know, had a, you know, a lot more fun appreciating the stuff that he did for the industry, you know, as a whole, because of the network. And listen, haven't been to an event in how many years now? Whatever it's been, 4 or 5 years, 6, you know, whatever. But you know what? I still pay my $5 a month and whatever.
Sure. All right, man. I could talk wrestling with you all night, but let's move on to. I want to talk a little bit about the toy.
Boy, that's a switch.
Yeah, right. With Richard Pryor and Jackie Gleason. Amazing movie, man. I just watched it the other night, and Ray and I run this podcast network called the Deluxe Edition Network, and I'm always trying to get, there's a bunch of different movie podcasts on the network, and I'm always trying to get them to do movies that I like to review and talk about movies that I like, you know, and some of those movies include The Toy and Blazing Saddles, and these are two movies that people they're afraid to talk about. They're afraid to talk about The Toy because a lot of people think that it's, you know, a racist movie. Going back and watching it the other day, it's not. It's a really, and when I looked on Rotten Tomatoes, I'm pissed. This movie only gets a 3% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's bullshit. Like, because I know people that will not watch movies because of a Rotten Tomato number. So
missing out on it. That I have, again, you think of things and how to explain things over the years, and it was only until a couple of years ago, really, that you know, somebody had mentioned, oh, it's racial and this and that and whatever, and I really thought about the film and what it was and what it entailed and the plot and the whole thing. And I said, well, hang on a minute. I said, if I could explain to you that The Toy and A Christmas Story are the same movie in 30 seconds, would you go with me on this? And they said, sure, I got to hear it. I said, absolutely. Okay. Father and a son. Okay. Christmas Story. Ralphie wants the BB gun. He wants his father to love, care, and respect him. The Toy. The kid wants love, care, and respect from his father. It's the same thing. It's just how you get there. The Toy, we use retire. Christmas. At the end of the movie, what happens? The father loves the son, has respect for the son. Everybody is happy, whatever. Richard is just different because of the black person, white person. If you get into that perspective of it, you know, and that's not how any of us looked at it. You know, were there jokes? Of course, everybody's going to make jokes, but they're the same movie. It's just a relationship film, and what you use to get from A to Z. That's all that it is. You know, people, oh, it's the slavery thing. I'm like, if that's what you got out of this movie, you're an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, you were 14 at the time, but you were only 9, supposed to be 9 in the movie.
Yeah.
As a 9-year-old kid, you don't even know what racism is. So
exactly,
you know, you wanted Richard Pryor to come home with you because he was funny. He was making you laugh. He was doing funny shit.
Well, yes, but the kid also piss off his old man, but it's going to make his old man give him more attention.
Sure.
You know that it's
a
egging
question
the
I did-
father on. It's egging the father on to talk to him, to give him some attention instead of just passing him off to somebody else.
Right. Because watching this back, I watched it. This was on all the time when I was a kid. It was on HBO. I remember it. But I always just knew it was a funny movie, and I liked the acting and liked Richard Pryor and stuff. But I think this might have been the first time that I've seen it in 15, 20 years. When I watched it the other day, there is a lot of racial things in it, though. Like in the store, when the first time when you are like buying Richard, if you notice, there's a Confederate flag raft up on the wall in the back, and there's also a Confederate flag in US's office, in Jackie's office.
You know what? Now I gotta watch that again. That part that I didn't look for.
Yeah.
It's more the they're having the DK rally at the house, and the anti-KKK show up, and it's Richard's girlfriend. Shows up and all of that, and you have the Grand Wizard is there and all this, and it's just the fat guy who did the catering for us.
That was the only part. Like, still, I couldn't. I smoke a lot of pot, so I couldn't put all this together. Was Jackie Gleason, was the U.S. in the dad or in the movie? Was he blackmailing someone? Like, why was he having that rally for the Senate? Why did he want the senator and the KKK guy to pose together? Was he blackmailing?
Of course,
someone
I mean, it's never explained because it's only a blip.
Yeah.
But you kind of got to think, he's trying to get something so he has leverage on somebody for business wise.
Gotcha. And another great thing about this movie that I think a lot of people overlook is Wilfred Hyde White, the butler in this movie. I went back through his IMDb. Holy shit. Like, he started acting in the 30s. This was actually his second to last movie. And like his whole story, like he was in the U.S. for tax evasion. It's an amazing story. What can you tell us about working with him? You have any good stories about him?
Oh, he's just a lovely man, just a darling. I mean, we didn't go out to the movies, and we didn't really have too many dinners together. The nice part was getting to meet his son, Alex Hyde White. He actually, in the film, in that the party scene, where Gleason yells, "Photographer, you take a picture of us." The photographer is actually Alex Hyde White, who was Wilfred's son.
Nice.
And for those who are watching this, Alex also had a little role in a movie called Pretty Woman with Richard Gere and Julia Roberts. He plays the buddy at the polo game that's talking to Julia Roberts. That's Alex Hyde White. And he's done a bunch of other things, from the Fantastic Four movie that never got seen to all kinds of other shows, and but Wilfred was just a nice man, very, very kind to my family, very nice, so it was just fun to work with him, it's just an old English guy.
He seemed like the type of guy, like he probably actually did have alcohol in that drink that he was walking around with constantly.
No, very professional. When you're around for the end, at that point, what was it, 50 years or something? He was already in show business, Most of them, they didn't really do all that, to say after shooting, I'm sure, but not during.
So a couple other things, just quick things about the toy. When you were driving around the car with Richard, like throughout the, through the mansion and the hallways and stuff, was that was really you driving and with Richard in the car?
Me driving, but not in the mansion. We were actually on the soundstage that they had built.
Oh,
they had built that hallway and the circular staircase down.
Nice.
So we weren't in the house doing that.
Okay. Could you imagine? But you actually did it. Like, wasn't a stunt kid, right?
there are parts of the going down the staircase where they shot some with me and then they shot some with him because of the far shots they did with him. But that's part of it where you see the car come down and coming straight toward the camera, and you can see me kind of going straight, and then I kind of veered off.
Yeah.
And then I pulled the wheel back and ended up hitting the lunch tray cart dead perfect, dead on.
Yeah, it's if anyone is afraid of watching it because of, they think it's racial or because it only has a 3% on Rotten Tomatoes, do yourself a favor and go watch this movie. Scott, you're a great actor and were a really great child actor. The emotions and stuff that you showed during that movie, it's really good.
Thank you. I tried.
Yeah, man.
Listen,
and
I got a lot of help. I got a lot of help from Richard Pryor. There was no question. He really helped me. And then we were about 2.5 or 3 months in. 2.5 months. Richard got sick. He went in the hospital with exhaustion, and I mean, I had talked to Gleason enough at that point, and he gave me pointers, and Gleason and Pryor. I mean, they both really helped, but Pryor more so. That helped me just kind of let go the asshole place of the kid character and just be a putz, which was great.
There were several parts of the movie, like it still holds up. I laughed out loud quite a few times, especially when when Richard jumps in the pool to save Gleason at the end, and Gleason, you son of a bitch, underwater. Like that shit is just so funny, man.
There was some funny stuff. Listen, it's a comedy. You're not going to recreate the wheel. You just want to entertain people. You any good film, I don't care if it's a comedy, a drama, whatever it is, musical, doesn't matter. If you move people emotionally one way or the other, you make them cry, you make them laugh. That is the job of a filmmaker. Entertain me. Get my blood going. Top Gun Maverick, every time that the planes are going overhead and all of that, okay, fine. I mean, the new one moved emotionally. If you're a fan of the old one, the new one is an automatic. It's no problem. The minute you see, Val Kilmer and him and I'm sitting in the theater crying because I'm moved in it. So that's what entertainment is supposed to be. The new Elvis film, I watched it again for I don't even know, 12th time already or whatever. The kid's great. His performance is very moving. Now, I haven't seen The Whale yet. For him, I'm glad he won. I'm glad Key won. Great. But I mean, now there's backlash from people going, oh, well, how could they vote for Brendan Fraser? All he's doing, he's wearing a fat suit. And people, if you want to have somebody who's fat in a movie, hire somebody who's fat for a movie. I'm going, this is show business.
Yeah.
This is movie. This is make believe. What are you kidding?
Right.
Stop taking life so serious.
Hey, so how do you feel about Tom Hanks's performance in that movie? Because
it's really the first kind of thing they did with the Colonel perspective. I liked him in it. I enjoy his performance in that. While I'm not a fan of the Colonel's, what he did, he was a scumbag. He was a piece of shit. Yeah. That's what he was. Yeah. But, Hanks did a good job because you have to understand the complexity of who the Colonel was, what he did, how he did it, why he did it. I enjoyed endlessly. Not the fact that the kid didn't win. Okay. That's a statue you put in the house, and that's great. But he's very, very young. He'll have many more shots at this. And from what I understand, Brendan Fraser was just incredible. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet either, but I heard.
I don't know anybody who's seen The Whale, but I know everybody I know has seen the Elvis movie. So
exactly, that's the point.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it again, it shows the icon-ish thing that has occurred. The man's been dead for 45 years. And they make a movie, and you got 15 and 20-year-olds going to this thing.
Yep.
Yes, they want to see Austin Butler. They're fans of Austin Butler. Okay, fine. But they don't know who Elvis Presley is. They don't know Elvis. Their parents, their grandparents, whatever the case may be. But it's creating another generation of fans of a guy who's already been gone for 45 years to show you how incredible he is or was, however you want to, you know, he's the biggest selling single artist in the history of the music industry. He's still gone for 45 years and he still outsells everybody. You know, you're going to have, Beyonce, and you're going to have, Michael Jackson, okay, well, nope. It's still Elvis. Elvis and Sinatra were the two biggest, Jackson, Prince. I think I had Beyonce. Those are like your 5 monsters that are still sell,
Scott, you're always listed as a former child star. How does that make you feel? You're still actively acting.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you tell people I'm still an actor? Like, I'm not a former child actor. I'm still an actor.
Well, anybody who starts off in the industry is a former child actor, but they could also say, still in the business, still in the industry, still working all these years later. And I don't even know if the stigma is the right word. It's just something that they just say, and it is what it is. There's no way to get around it.
Sure.
They Tom Cruise, former teen actor. No, they just say Tom Cruise, actor.
All right. So let's talk about Christmas Story a little bit. So A Christmas Story Christmas, the new one, just came out November. I imagine that, being that you were in the first one 39 years ago, you just got a phone call and they called you up, fly on over here and film your role.
That would have been wonderful. Not exactly. I actually found out that they're doing something. The person that called me didn't know exactly what was going on, but they said that there was going to be a new Christmas Story movie being made. So I sent a text to Peter Billingsley, Ralphie. Said, hey, what, I hear blah, blah, blah. He goes, yeah, I'll call you later. All right. He called me later that night. And he's like, listen, the role of Flick is there. If you want to do it, you got to audition. I said, okay. There was a very wise man told me a long time ago, ego is a waste of time and just a bunch of BS. And that was Richard Pryor. And so when Peter says to me, you've got to audition to play Flick again. All right. Now it's not that he doesn't know me. It's the powers that be.
Sure.
They don't know if I've gained 50 pounds or 100 pounds. They just want to see if you still got the chops and you can bring it. Okay, fine. So I did a video audition at a friend of mine's house and sent it in. And the director told me he watched my slate, which is your introduction. You say, hi, Scott Schwartz. I'm auditioning for the role of Flick. Okay, fine. And then you sit down. He goes, I watched about 15 seconds of your reading. And I stopped and I said, it's still him. Okay, let's go. So I mean, literally, even though you send in a 2-3 minute scene or a couple scenes, whatever, it doesn't, So I guess I'm still me, which is fine, which worked, and I mean, we all had to do it from Scott Farkas to Randy to me to Schwartz. I mean, we all had to send in auditions. It's hysterical, But
damn. So the house was still the same, right? Was that still filmed in Cleveland there at the house?
No, we did the new movie in this little town called Sofia, Bulgaria. We shot
the house.
We shot in Eastern Europe. The house was rebuilt. The exterior of the house was rebuilt on the back lot in Bulgaria, and the interior was in a soundstage in Bulgaria.
I know. I remember texting you, and you were like, "I'm in Bulgaria right now."
Yeah.
Damn, I did. So I mean, they did a great job then with the house and everything because it looks
Fantastic job. Fantastic job. You know, the production designer was a monster fan of To Kill a Mockingbird, because To Kill a Mockingbird, they created this town, you know, and for 40 years he's been in the industry, and he wanted that one job where he could create the town. And the director knew him, and when they got the job and whatever, and he said to the guy, okay, you wanted your dream job, I'm giving it to you. You have to recreate Cleveland, Christmas Story, Higbee's, the house, you know, all of that. You got to build Flick's Tavern, and, you know, all the things that people did see in the first one, they've got to redo it in the new one, you know. And great job.
Damn. Yeah, he did a great job because even driving, like, I've been to the Christmas Story house a few times in Cleveland. I texted you from there one time. I took a picture of you on the wall. You're like, yeah, cool, great, I lived it. But driving down that street, I was even looking across the street. I'm like, damn, man, they did a great job with even the street and everything outside.
Shit, Casey, I live in Cleveland, and I think they did a great job of recreating it.
They just left out all the, you know, homeless people and all the beggars and the
if
you're there in Cleveland now, right?
Yeah, if you'd have called me, I'd have put them on a fucking plane and sent them to Bulgaria for you to have them in the movie. Trust me.
I was just over there 2 months ago, and I'm going to see if you agree with me. You may not, but I think you will. If you think of Christmas Story, Higbee's, you know, vintage old, okay, fine. Now you see Higbee's today is not Higbee's, it's Jack's Casino.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, especially during the holidays, November, December, whatever, if you think about it, Christmas Story was 83, and now it's all these years later. Back to Future was 85, but then in the reverse, Back to the Future Part 2, when they changed the timeline, and it's got the casino with the buffet and the whole thing. That's what I think of when I see the new the casino there and everything. I think of Back to Part 2, and it's just turned into this whole other, you know, sense of reality. When you go, no, that's not it. That's not it. Something's got to be wrong here, you know.
It does look quite different, yeah. But yeah, being from Cleveland, like that movie is basically like a religious experience around Christmas because it's so tied to our city. I watch it every year. When this one came out, like you were talking about going to the theater and actually getting a little teary-eyed, that's how it felt going into this one. Like you start seeing all the characters again, and you're like, man, this feels like walking right back into the early 80s.
There were
not really, you know?
Yeah, but there were different ways that they could have done this. And there were things that were in the script that were taken out of the script. There were things that were, you know, not in the script, put in the script, that kind of stuff. But one of the good things that as a group we all kind of wanted to see and understand was sort of a tribute to the first one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is about the old man, and you've got to do things that touch people. Again, good movies move people emotionally, you know. So we have no Darren McGavin. We have, you know, we have Julie Hayes doing, you know, the mom, not Melinda Dillon, but that was fun. I thought she was wonderful. But it's so wonderful when, you know, Ralphie finds out the father has passed and he's got to go, and he goes home, and you see all the pictures and you see everything, and you start feeling all of that emotion about, you know, having the love and care for the first one. And the bit parts through the film, you know, Schwartz and I are having the argument at the bar, and then you see it goes to the flagpole when it's me and him going at it again. And, you know, you realize, you know, friends who are friends forever will have that, whether they're 12 or they're 42, it don't matter. You know, you go at it, and it's like, you guys haven't changed to date. Congratulations. You know.
Quick, couple questions about it. So who's in the picture with you above the bar in that movie? It's just a glancing as it's going past you?
Dead center up at the top.
Yeah.
It's me and Teddy Moore, Miss Shields.
Okay.
It would yes. There were several pictures that I gave them to put in the bar because there were things that were established, things that are not established, and with, of course, no Miss Shields in this one. I said, but I got to do that. I got to put her in somewhere. I adore Teddy, the woman who played Miss Shields. Yeah. She lives in Toronto, and I just saw her on Thursday yesterday. We went.
Yeah, I saw your picture on Facebook.
We had a spot of tea we had, and it was wonderful. Actually, we had lunch on Thursday. Yesterday, we just had spot of tea, but I wanted her somehow to be a part of this in some way. And so I had some pictures and whatever. And they said, well, yeah, let's put them at the bar. And okay, fine. And put her dead center, me and her. And cool. Then there's, I'm wearing an orange shirt and there's a photo behind me at the bar that's right next to right below the tabs or whatever it is. And that's actually me and my mom. We never established Flick's mother. We never hear from Flick's mother. We know nothing. So it was totally open season. And I'm like, my mom has never really been a part of my showbiz life. She drove me very, very, very rarely in for auditions just because of her job. She was a corporate 9 to 5. And I wanted to somehow, again, get her in this. And in the bar, the photo is there. And okay, fine. Literally the point where I'm telling the director, I'm telling Clay, listen, I want you to shoot me this way so you can see this picture and all of that, So when, of course, he goes, don't worry, it's right there. It's fine. So I brought my mom to one of the preview screenings that we had, and Mom's like, I know that picture. I said, yeah, I got you in the movie.
Very cool. Very cool. So they're calling this the official sequel to A Christmas Story, the original one that you were in. But there were 3 other movies made. I was just looking this up today. One of them was a direct Bob Clark sequel called My Summer Story.
Mm-hmm.
Were you ever invited back to be in any of the other ones, or did you ever audition for any of the other ones?
No, none of us were. None of us were, because it was
not even asked.
My Summer Story, I think it's like supposed to be the summer before. So it's Ralph Younger, I think.
I think it's the summer after.
Summer after, but Kieran Culkin.
Yeah.
Because we were getting older, at that point.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So they didn't get into it that way. And then they did Christmas Story 2 with Daniel Stern and what? Nope, that wasn't any of us. And they did. Was the other one with
the other one I thought was really odd. It was called Ollie Hopnoddle's Haven of Bliss. And
we don't.
But that was also written by Gene Shepard, and it was based on a 1968 short by Shepard. It follows the Parker family as they travel to Michigan to a camp.
Yeah, no, I mean, realistically, I don't even think Bob wanted to make the other one. He offered him a bunch of money, and he's like, hey, this is what I do for a living. Okay, fine. But, I mean, the true sequel is us.
Yeah. It's really good. Like Ray said, like I shed a tear at some parts. It's so nostalgic, just like, it's like, damn, there's that. Oh, there's that.
Yeah, that's what we wanted. We wanted it to pay tribute and be nostalgic and all of that. I mean, we had discussions of with the writers, with the writer, and there were things that were not in the film that literally, when I tell you they had to be in the movie, they had to be in the film. And he was sort of pushing back on me. He's like, I mean, this is a different film. We want to make it a different film. We don't want to rely on the first one entirely, and whatever. And there were other things that he said, and I mean, I was just like, oh my God. I'm like, the guy's not getting this. And we're having a meeting and we were all there. And he said something, and I said, listen, you're a nice guy, whatever, but why are we here? We're here realistically for two reasons. Number one, the first Christmas Story is part of Americana. It's now in the Library of Congress, and it's considered one of the best 2 or 3 Christmas films ever made. That's number one. Number two is because of Cobra Kai. Because Cobra Kai proved that an old property could be re-brought back with the original guys, and if done right, be fantastic.
It's true.
And of course, and I love Cobra Kai. I've loved every season of it, and I'm thrilled.
show.
And I know all the guys in it, and I'm thrilled for all of them. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. But I said, this is a property that Warner Brothers had that, again, we had to audition for these roles because they want to see if we still had it.
Sure.
And that's part of the process. Characters still have to be believable as who they are.
Yeah.
And we've lived these guys for all these decades, even though we've all done other things. We either see it, watch it, have screenings, for appearances or whatever it is, and we're talking about it and discussing it. So you kind of got to talk to people sometimes into understanding and realizing, you can make a movie and whatever, or you can make a movie that people are not going to forget because it's part of the love that they have for the first one.
Yeah.
So it can just meld into this one. And of course, I hear what's going on already. They're going to do a, new double pack, the original cast Christmas Story 40th anniversary, blah, 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 whatever, it's coming. Don't worry. They got to make money. That's what they do.
Well, speaking of making money, is there any chance that we can get a spin-off about the bar where you're the main character and it's about the bar where you are?
At this moment, I have no idea, man. I've talked to Peter a whole bunch, and it's nothing concrete is being talked about developmental wise, but there are things that, hey, maybe we could, maybe we can,
Mm-hmm.
So, it'll be, sometime in 20, are we in 23 still? Yeah. It'll be sometime in 2024 if something gets put on calendar, but, with this being the 40th, they're sort of just leaving it as it is with Christmas Story Christmas, and then we'll see where it goes. Because it's great because there are other stories and characters to develop, kind of Cobra Kai. It's kind of that same thing, we got these characters. Okay, we got Daniel LaRusso and we got, Lawrence, then who's their family? What do they do? How's it going on?
Right.
So, and now with Ralphie getting the job at the newspaper, he's home. So he's back home, and he's Flick is there, Schwartz is there, Randy's, actually Randy travels the world. But Scott Farkas the Bully is there, and Flick's Tavern is there. And the new character that they did, Larry, the guy at the bar who just does anything to not go home to his family, and he sits in the bar. He was just, we didn't know this man. We had no idea what he could do and he just tore us to pieces. We were just cracking up, man. We fell in love with this guy. Henry Miller is from the United Kingdom, and he was just wonderful.
Yeah,
would love to bring him back in a situational thing, with us again,
Hell yeah.
But,
I could see a Netflix show or something, Flick's Tavern. That would be great.
I thought it because you were talking about, fleshing out with like the pictures on the wall and what you were thinking about the backstory. That's what made me think of it would be a really cool idea.
Oh, yeah. Listen, it's great to do it as a part of Ralphie. He's home. He's this. He's got the family. Okay, fine, whatever. But he sees Flick on the street, goes to the, he'll go to the bar, and maybe they're having a reunion of some kind, of home in high school, and they have nowhere to hold it, because they don't have any money. But you know what? They can have it at Flick's Tavern.
Yeah.
And maybe you could have something, because we don't know. We have no idea if Flick is married. We have no idea if Flick has kids, So, you go anywhere with that, which to me is hysterical, You know, because I'm always one of those guys that go, all right, listen, so you have to think of who the guy is. So he's, you know, low 5 foot, you know, whatever. He's got the belly, he's the bartender, whatever. Okay, fine. But think about those guys in the 70s. They were bikers. They were, you know, and what did their girlfriends look like? You know, they were either butchy or they were smoking hot. One or the other. It's like, you know, and then you've got to develop who that person is, you know.
Yeah.
So many ways you can go with the characters.
Hell yeah.
I love Scott Farkas being the cop. That to me was just
I-
a blur.
That was
the
brilliant.
movie. The movie was just all around brilliant. It was done very, very well.
Zach Ward, who plays Scott Farkas. Okay.
Yes.
So they kind of had written some dialogue for him that was not exactly what you ended up seeing on camera. And Zach is very creative. Zach is an ultra intense, ultra intelligent man. And he pulled the writer aside. He goes, listen, man, can you go with me on this? You know. And the guy was kind of back and forth, you know, whatever. At the end of the day, though, Zach killed it. I mean, he just nails it, man. And I mean, you know, we saw the previews and all, you know, preview screening and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, he killed it. The second he comes on camera, people go, yeah, it was great.
I know Ray has some things to talk to you about here, and we have a new segment that we have, and we also have a little game here between you and Ray. I just have one more question. Do you still have a beef with Feldman? And is the open challenge still open?
Oh, it'll be open until neither one of us are ready to just schmuck. Yeah.
All right. All right, Ray, go ahead, buddy.
You know,
I know you have some.
Listen, if he had the balls God gave him, you know, he would answer the challenge, but he has no balls. He has no heart. He really doesn't. He's, you know, he's just a pathetic human being, you know. And trust, if he got in a ring with me, he'd be in an extreme world of hurt. You know, I mean, I'm sitting the other night and I'm thinking, I'm thinking about all of the people that Jerry Lawler created and helped along in their careers and what he did. Yeah. I would be next. I would go spend 3, 4, 5 weeks at Lawler's house and just get give. Yes.
I would love to see it, man.
But you aren't the only one, trust me. There'd be a shitload of people wanting front row seats to that. Okay,
All
Mr.
right.
Cleveland, let's rock.
All right. In 1986, you were in a movie called Raiders of the Living Dead.
Yes, sir.
Do you think if they'd have spent more than $12 on that movie, that it would have been good?
So it's a good question. You see, the producer director Sam Sherman from Independent International had no money to begin with.
Right.
Okay. He bought 45 minutes of zombie footage and wrote the movie around the zombie footage that he had.
Yeah.
You know, he was a drive-in movie guy. That's what he made. He made drive-in pictures in the late 60s, 70s, you know, and up from there. And I know him since I was a kid. And he's like, one of these days I'm going to put you in one of my movies. Because then, of course, you know, I started doing TV and Broadway and films and stuff. And I knew him since I'm 6 years old, you know, and, you know, and getting the cast, they had to work for almost nothing. Zita Johansson, you know, who's in like The Bride of Frankenstein. It's like, what? You know, and Bob Allen, the Western guy.
I think she was in, what was it, Curse of the Mummy? I mean, like
the Mummy. The Curse. Right. Okay.
He goes way back.
Oh, in the 30s, early 30s.
Yeah.
It was great. I mean, like the girl that played the girlfriend, her name's Corey Burt. You know, I always say her name because she's still my buddy to this day. We're still friends. She was just a kid from Jersey. You know, that her mother said, yeah, why don't you do this? You know, she liked doing theater and all that stuff and got, you know, somehow find out this thing was going to be made or whatever. And open call and she got it. Okay, great. I mean, it was thrown together, but the poster is great and the song is great. The rest of it, whatever.
Well, I don't know if Casey's ever seen this one, but Scott's character takes apart a laser disc player and it becomes a laser gun, basically.
To kill the zombies.
To kill zombies. Which leads me to the next question is, instead of remaking like big budget movies, why doesn't Hollywood remake stuff like that deserves to be remade with a bigger budget?
They have much of an imagination. If it's something that box office wise, if it made money, then they'll do a sequel, they'll do this, they'll make a reboot and all that kind of stuff. If it's something that's middle of the road or a BC class film, they won't even bother, you know. Now it's actually funny because even though it's kind of in pieces because it ended up in a storage box at the director's house, he actually gave me the laser gun.
Oh,
so
yeah?
I actually have it. Yes, I have it in my closet and in my kitchen.
That's awesome.
I got to re-put it back together again.
All right, now I don't want to step on your toes here, Casey. So you got to ask the question or do the thing or whatever it is the hell you got figured out there.
For my real question.
Yes.
All right. So Scott, were you a fan of the Beastmaster growing up?
Oh, come on! Of course, Mark Singer, John Amos, Rip Torn. Oh, absolutely, right. Tanya Roberts.
Yeah.
So Tanya Roberts. So doing this podcast, I've become friends with Mark now over the last couple of years.
Great
and
guy.
Awesome guy. And he's very interested in like helping us, get better and stuff. So I was showing him our YouTube channel and he said, what does the best for your YouTube channel? And I was showing him the reels and the shorts, the very short segments. They're only like a minute long. And I've been getting like thousands of views posting these things, but it's like me at a wrestling event screaming at Jay Lethal, or like these strong men lifting like big cinder blocks up on the platforms. And I'm showing Mark this and he goes, okay, but what does this have to do with your podcast? And I said, nothing, but it is bringing views to our channel. And he goes, okay, but he goes, we need to think of something better that is going to bring people to your channel because of your podcast, not because of wrestlers and strongmen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay. He goes, give me a couple days to think about it. So I watch him leave. He backs out of his space next to me and drives away. And I'm playing with my phone, punching in my address for my next destination. And he knocks on my window and says, what did you say these things are called again? I said, reels. He goes, okay. He goes, ask me the craziest question that you can think of. And like, I'm not good at that. So I go, what did you have for breakfast this morning? And he goes, okay, that's why Ray is going to ask the questions and you're going to time it. And he goes, and they're called real questions. And he just walked away. And I was like, what? So that's our new segment, real questions. After Ray asks the question, you have 30 seconds to answer.
But to me, Mark Singer's, I think, best performance is If You Can See What I Hear.
I've been trying to find that.
Guy.
Yeah, I've been trying to find that. I can't find it anywhere.
Him and Sherry Belafonte Harper.
Yeah, he tells a great story about that. Is that the story where he tells Ray about the lady in the crowd, his mom crying? Is that one, or is that the?
I don't remember which movie that was.
Probably he plays the blind singer and.
Yeah. Okay. No, this is one where he played the football player with leukemia. I can't think of the name of it. He tells a story about how he's on stage telling the story, giving the speech, and the actress in the audience is playing his mother, and she's supposed to cry, and she does it, and they're all like, brilliant, and she says, no, it's not, it wasn't brilliant. She said, do it again. We'll do it again. And he said, like, as soon as he said this one word, a tear came from her eye, and then they went through and she said, that was perfect.
That's good. All right, so go ahead. So you're going to ask me a question. I got 30 seconds.
Yes. So in 1981, you made your Broadway debut, I believe, in Frankenstein.
Yes.
Okay. How is it right that Scott Schwartz has been using your name for 25 years to direct plays such as the Prince of Egypt?
Good director, if he's not in SAG, can use Scott Schwartz, but SAG, he would have to have a middle initial. Like there's a old professional wrestler, Scott L. Schwartz.
Yes,
I looked him. He was in Ocean's 11, and he's waiting for me to drop dead so he doesn't have to use the L anymore.
Yeah. Well, Scott Schwartz, the director, is not using his middle initial.
Then he's not a member of the Actors Guild. You can have a Scott Schwartz in anything. There's realtors, there's accountants, they're all Scott Schwartzes, but you can only have one Scott Schwartz in Screen Actors Guild, and that's me. But you can have Scott L, A, B, C, D, whatever middle initial you want.
So is that why a lot of people change their name then? Like, is that like why I'm
if they have a common name, whereas, you know, because of showbiz's different prejudices or whatever you want to call it back in the day, you know, I mean, Tony Curtis, you know, is one of the most famous ones, and his real name is Bernie Schwartz. You know, I joked that he was my Uncle Bernie when he really wasn't, but okay.
Yeah, Tim Conway, really Tom Conway. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Unless you had a very common name, Mel Brooks is Mel Brooks.
Okay, all right. I know there's some ones that I'm thinking of, but like I said, I smoke a lot of weed. So,
but
all right,
Richard Donner,
yeah,
is Richard Schwartzman.
Oh, really?
Yep.
So how come you never did any more Broadway, seeing that Frankenstein was so successful and had that one-day run?
That was a massive run. It was 30 days in the one-day run. It just wasn't what I ended up getting. I auditioned for other roles.
Huh?
You know, the fact that it ran one day, you know, we had the honor of being the biggest non-musical flop in the history of Broadway at that time. You know, but the reasons why the producers were producing Joseph the Amazing Technicolor Dreamboat. They had Mickey Rooney and Ann Miller in, oh my God, I can't think of the name of the show that they were doing at that time. And there was another show that they had. They had 3 musicals that were making them a bloody fortune. So they didn't care. We didn't get great reviews, and they just cut it off real quick. And then they wanted to do it, and then they couldn't.
So what you're saying is they should have made it a musical, and then they'd had no problems.
Oh man. Okay. No. The 50-foot high sets and have Diane Wiest and John Glover, you know, and just some great character actors, and it was very well put together. Just the worst commercial in the history of television. I can actually do the commercial for you right now. So there was a hand that would come down like this, and it would go like this. And then there was a lightning bolt, and it said Frankenstein live at the Palace. That was the whole commercial.
They didn't say who was going to be. They didn't say who was going to be in it or anything.
Nothing.
Oh my God.
Yes. He was playing William Frankenstein, the younger brother of Victor in the play, which
Yes,
I don't remember. I don't remember him having a brother in the original movie.
Well, there is no brother in the movie. The book, he has a.
Oh, that's right.
You know, it's based upon the book, and because in the film Frankenstein doesn't talk, but in the Broadway show, because it's based on the book, the monster spoke, and the reviewers hated that. They hated the fact that the monster could speak because they were used to Karloff.
Right.
No, that's not what it was. You know, the monster spoke.
So the monster speaks in the book?
Yeah. Don't you read?
Monster spoke in the first in the show, and listen, I got killed every night at the Palace Theater. It was great. I got killed by Frankenstein every night. It was fantastic.
Very cool.
All right,
What
that's
else you
all.
got, Ray?
That's it. That's all I got. That was all my questions. Yeah.
All right. So a little backstory to this game. The first time you were on the show, Scott, I had another host of the show, Bill. when he was still a part of the show, Ray was on another show. Ray came on to our show, played a game with Bill. We were going to give a big box of stuff away. That ended in a tie, and the big box of stuff is still sitting in my closet. So I have 10 questions here, 5 each. Scott, would you like to play for Deb Doherty or Michael Ortiz?
I'll play for Deb.
All right. Ray, you're playing for Michael.
Sorry, Michael.
All right. All right. And this is, we actually have 2 questions here from podcasts on our network. This first one is from Spoil My Movie. And let's start with Scott. Robert Patrick played Agent John Doggett in The X-Files. Which movie robot is he better known for? And you get extra points here. Like, I'm just making this up as I go. You get extra points if you know the answer without me reading the multiple choice questions.
You don't need to read anything. Come on, dude. It's Terminator 2.
All right. All right, Ray. This is from Take on the World. What was the best-selling toy of 1983? And it wasn't Richard Pryor.
Let's see. 1983. I'm going to go with the Cabbage Patch doll.
Ding, ding, ding. You got it, buddy.
Pretty good.
All right. Let's see. Number 3. Now, these are all questions that I came up with this afternoon. Where were the 1980 Olympic Games held?
In traffic hell in Los Angeles. No, I'm kidding. It's Lake Placid. Well, it depends. Are we doing, because that'd be the Winter Olympics was Lake Placid. Summer Olympics was Los Angeles.
No, I have Moscow, Russia.
The Winter Olympics, really? Miracle on Ice? That's Lake Placid. Yeah. That's 1980. You didn't say Summer Olympics. You said Olympics.
All right, I'll give it to you.
I bet the next question is, where did I put my shampoo this afternoon? Come on, Casey.
Hey, I typed into Google the best pop culture trivia questions.
I was going to say LA. That's what I was going to say for that one too.
The multiple choice
is LA, but the Winter Olympics was Lake Placid in 80. Yeah. Miracle on Ice.
Yep.
Are you sure it wasn't in Russia? That wasn't in Russia?
Lake Placid. Miracle on Ice. Do you believe in miracles? Yes, it's Lake Placid. How old are you? I think I'm older.
I was born in 1980, okay?
Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't.
Neither was I.
On television, dude. Holy Christ.
All right.
I feel old.
Yeah, don't feel good, but it's all right. Okay, Casey, hit me with the question.
Who won the 1987 Super Bowl? And I remember, I do have multiple choice questions. So if you don't know it, you can say, what are the multiple choice answers?
I'm going to say that would have been. Yeah, I'm going to go Dallas Cowboys.
You can ask for multiple choice questions.
I don't want to, though.
I'm sorry, Michael.
Obviously, 85 is the Bears. Everybody knows that one. And then you have the Cowboys 49ers dynasties begin after that. But
86, I think there was the New York Giants.
Oh yeah, you got the Giants.
It's the Phil Simms and Jeff Hostetler year.
Yeah.
Oh, 87. I want to say it's the 49ers and Cincinnati, I think.
See, now I'm thinking it might have been the fucking Raiders.
No, that's 83 with John Madden. Come on, or 80 with John Madden.
Yeah, but didn't he win it when they went to LA also?
That's 83, I think.
Is
with
that
Marcus
83?
Allen. That's Marcus Allen.
The 1987 Super Bowl, the New York Giants defeated the Broncos 39-20.
Oh, it's the Giants and the Broncos era. That's it. I can tell you who it wasn't. The Browns.
Ooh. Hey, you got Bernie
All
Kosar.
right.
Hang in
Yes.
there. You had Bernie.
We had Bernie.
All right, Scott.
Scott's winning.
What toy sold 200 million units between 1980 and 1983? And I have multiple choice here.
1980 to 1983. Well, that many units, it had to be something small. I'm going to say a Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, bing,
Yep.
bing, 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 bing. Killing it. All right, Ray.
Yes.
What what woman became the first female vice president candidate on a major party ticket in 1984?
That's what the fuck was her name?
I know it.
I should. I want to say fuck. Give me the Give me the multiple choice.
Multiple choice. Sarah Palin, Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, or Geraldine Ferraro?
It's Geraldine, yeah. I couldn't remember her last name. That's what I kept thinking it was Geraldine Ford.
All right, Scott. The highest grossing film of the 90s. You
That's
want the
it?
multiple choice?
Hang on. The highest grossing film of the 90s. Got to be Titanic.
Ding, 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 ding. Titanic. 659 million in the 90s, and which is crazy because it came out.
That's just US.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it only came out in 97. So for
it ran for a year.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
In
it's
the theaters for a year.
Yeah, it's made $2.2 billion over its entire run.
You might not know this, Casey, but when you rented that, it was 2 VHS tapes.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Not only did I have to sit through one tape, I had to sit through 2 tapes to see that whole movie.
I do remember that. All right, Ray, I believe you are up.
I think I lost, but I'll still answer your question, sir.
All right. Well, no, you still have a chance here. I might have forgot to write a number down here.
If I pass out, you got. Don't worry, it's okay.
All right. Who was Marvel's first superhero?
In a movie or a comics?
Ever in a comics, ever. Their first superhero.
Huh. I would say Captain America.
You would be wrong. It was the Human Torch.
Ah, damn it.
And it was like 6 or 7 years after DC came out with theirs. All right, Scott, longest running #1 single of 1983.
Oh my
God. You've been on a run here without any multiple choice
yeah, I
answers.
know.
He's murdering.
1983.
I feel like somebody snuck up on me with a fucking shovel and started hitting me in the back of the head. This guy's murdering me.
You know what? I want to keep my streak going. I want to say it's 83. It's got to be Michael Jackson. So it's either Beat It or Billie Jean. It's one or the other.
No,
it has to be.
Damn it. Nope.
Oh,
really?
No.
Is it Hungry Like the Wolf?
No.
Duran?
No.
Yeah.
Every Breath You Take by the Police. It was number 1 for 8 weeks.
That was a big song back then.
Yeah.
All
right, Ray, one more.
All right, I left the door open for a tie. Go ahead.
All right, let me see if I can tie this thing up and keep that shit in his closet for a while.
Tie it up and keep it in my closet for another 50 episodes.
Yep.
All right. What year did the Iron Sheik beat Bob Backlund to win the WWF title?
Let's see. Sheik is early 80s. I'm going to go with 81.
Scott, I know you know this.
Well, he loses to Hogan in 83, so it's got to be 82. or 83, because I think he only had it a month, I think, or something like that.
Yep, 83. Bing, bing, bing.
He had it a month. He only had the belt for a month. Yeah.
Yeah, he was the transitional champion.
You know, I do enjoy following the Sheik on Facebook and stuff because his comments are just hilarious.
Before we wrap it up, Scott.
Talk about a guy with no filter.
Yeah, before we wrap it up.
A guy with no filter. He's a lunatic. He's a maniac.
Yeah, he is. I don't know how his account stays active.
Any before we wrap up, Scott, and before your plugs, any Iron Sheik stories?
Well, having him put me in the Cobra Clutch was always hysterical. You know, that was great. Just watching him. I was there for the roast of Bob Backlund, and she gets up there. Now there's kids in the audience. Well, that was a bad choice because Sheik goes on this 15-minute tirade of insanity, dropping every F-bomb he could possibly do, and every curse word that a 10-year-old, 12-year-old should never hear. I mean, it was a rip-roaring riot to watch this guy because he just lets it go, you know. You know, you're number one, you suck, Bob. You go to you chew on my dick. I mean, you know, and it's just like, oh my God, what do you do?
Yeah, you fucking jabroni.
I break your back, make you humble.
Merry Christmas to everyone except Hulk Hogan. Fuck that jabroni. That's the kind of post I'm reading. I'm like, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, man. Scott, thank you so much, man, for doing this. I appreciate it.
Well, you're welcome. I'm glad to be back for number 100.
We appreciate it, man. Tell everyone where they can find you, brother.
Scott Schwartz, actor on Facebook. That's pretty much the only one that's for the, you know, the fans and stuff like that. You know, or you can go to Christmas Story Family on Facebook, and we have a site there for, you know, fans of the film, and it's got a bunch of us guys on it.
Awesome, man. Thank you, dude.
Talk to you soon. Have a great night, guys. Good to see you. Mr. Cleveland, stay well, brother.
Thank you, sir. You do the same.
You got it.